Good morning, everybody. Today is March 23rd, 2021, and we're going to be taking a look at gold, silver, the S&P 500, and Bitcoin. Going over to gold. Gold is still correcting on the weekly. We'll go to the daily chart to see what's going on. Well, we did manage to get our 9. We're looking at a 1 to 4 candle correction. The 9 came one candle early. 1 if you count the 8, or 1 if you count the 1. We are trading below this 1 candle, and if tomorrow's trading price goes below the wick of this day's 1, that will activate a short trade to the downside. Going over to silver. Silver is not looking great. You did activate a short trade back here at 25,428. And we are trending down. If silver closes below this yellow line right here, we may, or this green line right here, we're going to have some issues. And I think we're going to be coming down to this 22 range. I still haven't stepped away from that. The only way I'm stepping away from that is if we break the wick of this 2 candle right here and make a higher high. Going over to the S&P 500. S&P 500, of course, is starting to recover yet again, and I am expecting a new challenge of all-time highs either sometime later this week or possibly early next. As long as we can close above the wick of this 1 candle over here, I will become excessively bullish and maintain my bullish stance on the daily. Going over to Bitcoin on the weekly chart is still a green 1. We did come and retest this 7-period moving average as support. In great news, 1, 2, 3, 4, the only way that we could print a red 2 would be to go all the way down to 45K, and I don't see that happening. I just don't. I really don't see that happening. Now, the RSI has been diverging on the weekly, which could be some cause for concern. However, if we do pop to the upside, because this is more of a wedge or a channel, if we do pop to the upside, I think the breakout is going to be excessively violent. Like this 1618 target, I think is gone. Honestly, now I'm looking in like the high 90s. This area is just, this target for me is changing rapidly. So now my new set of targets are looking more like right here. This 1618 at 90,000. This is my new target now. This 1618 I don't think is high enough anymore. I think we've just gone from 80 to 90. Going over to the daily chart. The daily chart is recovering nicely. If we can print this candle above the midpoint of the body of this 2, which I believe is actually this yellow line right here, I think this correction's over and we're going to come at least back to retest this trend line that we broke down from. Now, I still have my day marked as April 3rd, which is going to be the 250th day in a cycle that I'm working on for an indicator. So I've had this day marked for a while. Honestly, I think I marked it back in like early March, possibly even late February. No, I marked it back in like mid-February is when I marked this date. So I'm interested to see what the significance of this date is, if it's going to mean a breakdown further, or if we're going to be over here and make a breakout. So I'm not really budging. I mean, we still have, according to this, that would be 8, 9, 10, 11 days to move around in this zone for me before I see something interesting happen. And that's if that indicator I'm working on has significance at these timescales. Going over to the 4-hour. All right, the 4-hour looks like it really did bounce off the 382. So we are making this pattern where we're hitting the 618 off of the extension. We've bounced back and we've managed to hold the 382. Now what I need to see is I need to see a move back to the upside, potentially breaking up from here. Now, I'm going to scare everyone a little bit because here's exactly what just happened to this triangle. Now we have a descending triangle. So, my position, I may be exiting out of quite a bit of my Bitcoin right here in this 57, 56 area, and then be willing to go back in at the break of this green line. So that's a cause for concern for me. I am going to be paying very close attention to this. I believe we just activated a long trade on the 4-hour. If we go over here, we are looking at high 54, 55, 467 and 55, 495. Yes, we have. This too has just traded above a 1. We have activated a long trade to the upside on the DeMark system. I like this actually. This is looking strong. We potentially have a really good spot. We do need to break above this purple line on the RSI though. This has acted as support for a long time. Let's see if we can wick and get out of it. And the MACD is still trending down. It's negative, but it is starting to flatten. So it's still bearish as an indicator right now, the MACD. I'm still slightly bearish on the RSI because we haven't made a higher high on it. I mean, I guess I could consider this little bounce right here a higher high, but I really want to take out this last swing, which is up here. And until we do that, I'm going to maintain, I'm going to be cautious. The volume indicators are actually looking pretty good. So I would consider this a green candle. We do need to get one more green candle above this one right here, which was calling the bottom, which was a hammer reversal candle. We do need one more volume candle bigger than this one for me to consider that this trend is gaining momentum to the upside. That's how I would. That's how I treat the volume. So I'm hoping it's not something like this back here or back here. These are shows of weakness, and this is a show of strength right here. Actually, that the sellers are dominating the market as the price is dropping. Bigger examples are right here. That even though the price kept falling, the momentum, which was what we were really looking at on this volume chart, was petering off. And then, we really haven't had much hardcore momentum pushing us to the upside. This, I would say, is a really good indicator right here of some actual momentum trying to break down. And then this is a good example as well. So it looks like we're starting to move to the upside. We'll see how high we can get. I am going to be looking at this triangle very closely because this is yet again another position where we may need to be worried. That, for example, the last time we had a triangle sitting down here, actually, we got a little bit concerned about where we were going to go, and thankfully we broke out. So correction-wise, how are we doing? This is another thing we need to take a peek at. The correction over here was 15%. That's honestly a reasonable correction. It is a back test right here of this too. So do note that this wick down here was the back test of this resistance line over here. I would consider that the back test of this area, and that's everything I have to say for today. I hope everyone has a wonderful Tuesday, and I will talk to you tomorrow.